So if you go through most literature, they will tell you that treasury bill is the safest. Yes, the safest investment tool, because there is no way the government will run away with your money. There is no way the government will default payment. Hey, but there's been one history. I want to mention the name of the country, but there's been a country where the government defaulted the payment of the treasury bill, but I don't think it will ever happen in Ghana. I think I discussed that on my status the last weekend. Yes, there is no way government is going to default the payment of treasury bill in Ghana. It will never happen at all. So treasury bill still stands as the safest investment tool we have in Ghana. So we ask ourselves, how does it get to the investor? So if I have money, I want to buy treasury bill, I want to invest in treasury bill, how does it get to me? Because I'm saying that it's from the government. So will we go to Bank of Ghana to tell them, Jack, we want to buy treasury bill? No, you don't do that. But the Bank of Ghana also sell the treasury bill to the various commercial banks. So if I talk about commercial banks, I'm talking about GCB Bank, Fidelity Bank, Access Bank, Stanbic, Stanchart, UMB, Consolidated Bank, and all other banks you may think of. So Bank of Ghana sell treasury bill to them. So when Bank of Ghana sell the treasury bill to them, then they also come and retail to us. So it's more like, let's say Joy Industries, they will produce, but there's no way you can walk to Joy Industries that I want to buy one bottle. So Joy Industries will retail to the various key distributors. That's how it works. So Bank of Ghana will retail treasury bill to the various banks. At the end of the day, the various banks will retail it to us, we the final investors or the final consumers. So that's how treasury bill end up with us. Then we move on to the duration in which one can invest. Yes, you can invest for 3 months. We normally call it the 91 days treasury bill. You can invest for 6 months. That's 182 days treasury bill plan. You can also invest for 1 year. That's the 364 days plan. So with this, the rates differ. As we discussed last week, if I'm investing for 3 months, you don't expect me to get the same returns for Mr. B, who is investing for 6 months. Not at all. It won't happen because of risk. Because the longer you invest, the higher the rate of risk you also try to encounter. So we have just 3 periods we can invest. So you can invest for 3 months, you can invest for 6 months, and you can also invest for a year. So now let's look at the current treasury bill rate. You see, from my second point, I made mention that the treasury bill, Bank of Ghana sell it to the various commercial banks before they retail to us. So if you visit the Bank of Ghana website, you realize that as at yesterday, 1st February 2021, the 91 days treasury bill stands at a rate of 14.05 per annum. But if you go to the commercial bank, that one to my friend, it differs. Some commercial banks will give you at a rate of 12.90. Some commercial banks will also give it to you at a rate of 12.91. Some also give it to you at a rate of 13%. Some also give it to you at the rate of 12.80% for the 91 days. Then for 182 days, according to Bank of Ghana is selling to the various commercial banks for 14.09 interest rates for the 182 days. Similarly, if you go to other commercial banks, they are also retailing to we the individual investors or the final consumers, the other groups who are investing in treasury bill. They are also retailing it to them at a rate of 13.1%, 13.2%. Some are also doing it for 12.99%. Some are also doing it for 13.05, 13.06. So it depends on the bank you are buying the treasury bill from. Okay, so we move on to the last period, that's the whole year. So if you're interested in purchasing for treasury bill for the whole year, from Bank of Ghana, they are selling it to the various commercial banks for 16.95%, and the banks are also retailing to the final consumers at a rate of, some are giving it out for 15.0%, some are also giving it out for 15.20%. So it depends on the banks you are dealing with. So we asked ourselves that why the variation of rates from Bank of Ghana to the commercial banks to the final consumers. So Bank of Ghana was set down and agreed that for 91 days, I'm giving it to the commercial banks for 14.05. But the commercial banks will retail to the final consumers for 12.90. So you ask ourselves why the variation of rates. So the variation of rates comes as a result of the numerous costs these commercial banks have to cater for. So cost of paying of salaries, electricity bills and all those things, and people are also invested in the banks and they have to get returns from them. Okay, then Dennis is asking, can't the Bank of Ghana regulate the rates at the various commercial banks? This is a difficult task by Bank of Ghana, but there is a benchmark that they cannot exceed. Yes, there is a benchmark for them, so they can't exploit that much. However, there is also competition in the system. That's why we need a lot of finance education, because for me, if I want to invest, if I want to buy a treasury bill, I'll go to Ghana Commercial Bank and I'll ask of the rates. I'll go to Fidelity Bank, I'll ask of the rates. I'll go to UMB, I'll ask of the rates. If I have time, I'll make inquiries for about 2, 3, 4 banks. Then I'll compare their rates before I finally decide on the one to invest in. So you have to do the work yourself. But Bank of Ghana is regulating all right, but they can't do so much. So now we move on to the interest calculation. Yes, that's where most people are always asking me of. Yes, the interest calculation, you see, it depends on the number of days. So if we tell you, if we tell you that you are investing, Faith, I've seen you, thank you very much. Faith, thank you. Oh, JT, oh, you still remember JT? You still remember him? That's great. So let's move on to the interest rate calculation. So for the interest rate, we are investing for 3 months. That's the 91 days. So if you are being told that your interest is 13%, so 13% is per annum. Every interest rate that are quoted at the bank or any other financial institutions, they are all quoted per annum. So if at the end of the day you are investing for 3 months, what you have to do is you divide 3 by 12, 3 over 12 months. Then you multiply by the rate they've given to you. So if the rate is 13% and you're investing for 3 months, what you have to do is you are going to do 3 out of 12 times 13%. So the rate you are going to get, that's what you are going to multiply by your principal to know the interest rate you are working home with. So if you are investing for 6 months, what you have to do is you are coming to calculate 6 months. So it's 6 months out of 12 months, which is the whole year. Then you multiply by the interest rate at hand. So 6 over 12, if the interest rate is 14%, 6 over 12 times 14. So you are going to get 1 over 2 times 14. So you are going to get 7%. So with the 7%, that's what you are going to multiply by the principal you are investing. Then at the end of the day, that's the interest you are working home with, together with your principal. Then if you are investing for the whole year, that's the 364 days. With that, the interest rate that have been given to you, you are going to multiply the interest rate by your principal. then any figure you are going to get, that's going to be your interest. At the end of the day, your take home money is going to be your interest plus your principal. The reason being that you are investing for 12 months, so you are going to get 12 out of 12 times the rate, and 12 out of 12 is 1, and 1 times any rate is going to give you the rate. So you just pick the rate, then you multiply the rate by the amount of money you are investing. So let's look at the tax implication. Obviously, there is no tax on it because you are supporting government of Ghana, and government of Ghana doesn't want to discourage you. There's no way government of Ghana would like to take some of the returns you are earning, not at all. They won't do that. They will rather encourage you to invest more so that we can get a lot of money to undertake a lot of developmental projects for the country and also cater for other expenses to the benefit of the people living in the country and citizens outside the country too as well. So today, this is the end of our lecture on Treasury Bill. So everything you want to know about Treasury Bill, everything you have to know about Treasury Bill is what we've discussed. So at this point, if you have any question, you can type your questions and I will answer them. Hey, which bank has the best interest? Yeah, I think it's interest rates. Which bank has the best interest rates on Treasury Bill? You want to put me into trouble? I beg. I can't be specific for you. You just try. The banks around you, just do your best to compare their rates. I don't want to be biased. I don't want my friends in other banks to swallow me. Okay, so thank you very much for joining today's discussion. Yes, but before we end this session, I want us to have a quick overview of our finance plan for January 2021. I have some few tips in addition to the template I issued out in December before we commence this year. Yes, if you realize your expenses part or your expenditure aspect, what is the maximum number of years you can invest in Treasury bills? For Treasury bill, it's just the maximum number is 1 year, 364 days. That's the maximum number. So, and you can do in 3 tranches. The first tranche is the 3 months. The second tranche is the half a year. That's the 6 months, 182 days. Then the last tranche is 364 days.